Have you ever stepped out of a hot shower, reached for your towel, glanced at the mirror, and found your reflection completely erased by a cloudy white haze? In that moment, it almost feels like the mirror has vanished or decided to hide the truth from you. We wipe it with our hand, leaving streaky trails, draw shapes or words without thinking, and wonder why this happens every single time. It feels ordinary, even boring. Yet behind that foggy mirror is a fascinating story involving invisible water vapor, temperature differences, and the physics of how air behaves when it's pushed to its limits. What seems like a minor bathroom annoyance is actually a perfect, everyday demonstration of how our environment constantly shifts around us, often in ways we don't notice until something goes wrong. Let's explore, right here, on History of Simple Things. To understand why mirrors fog after showers, we need to start with what's happening to the air in your bathroom. When you turn on the hot water, liquid water absorbs energy and transforms into water vapor, an invisible gas. As the shower runs, the air quickly fills with this warm, moisture-rich vapor. Warm air has a special ability. It can hold more water vapor than cold air. This is why humid air often feels heavy and sticky, especially after a long, steamy shower. At this point, the bathroom air is packed with moisture, floating freely and unseen, just waiting for the right conditions to change form. Now let's bring the mirror into the story. Bathroom mirrors are usually mounted on walls and backed by solid materials like glass and metal. These materials tend to stay cooler than the air during a hot shower. Even if the room warms up slightly, the mirror doesn't heat up as quickly as the air filled with steam. This temperature difference is crucial. When warm, moisture-laden air comes into contact with the cooler surface of the mirror, the air near that surface rapidly cools down. And here's the key detail. Cooler air cannot hold as much water vapor as warm air can. When the air cools at the mirror's surface, it reaches what scientists call the dew point. This is the temperature at which air becomes fully saturated with water vapor and can no longer keep all that moisture in gas form. When that happens, the excess water vapor has no choice but to change back into liquid water. This process is called condensation. Instead of staying invisible in the air, the water molecules clump together into tiny liquid droplets on the surface of the mirror. These droplets scatter light in all directions, which is why the mirror looks cloudy and opaque instead of reflective. The reason the fog looks smooth and uniform rather than dripping immediately is because the droplets are incredibly small at first. They form a thin, even layer across the glass, creating that familiar foggy appearance. Over time, as more moisture condenses and droplets merge, gravity takes over, and you may start to see streaks or beads of water running down the mirror. That's condensation evolving in real time, right before your eyes, triggered by nothing more than temperature imbalance and excess humidity. You might wonder why mirrors fog more than other bathroom surfaces. After all, the walls and ceiling also come into contact with steam. The answer lies in surface texture and temperature. Mirrors are smooth, flat, and typically cooler than painted walls or tiles. Smooth surfaces make it easier for water droplets to form evenly rather than soaking in or spreading out. Painted walls and porous materials often absorb some moisture or distribute it differently, making condensation less visible. The mirror, however, acts like a perfect canvas for fog to appear. Ventilation also plays a major role. In a poorly ventilated bathroom, humid air has nowhere to go, so moisture builds up quickly. Without an exhaust fan or open window, the air becomes saturated faster, increasing condensation on every cool surface, especially mirrors. In contrast, good ventilation removes moist air and replaces it with drier air, reducing the chances of fog forming. This is why turning on the bathroom fan before or during a shower can dramatically reduce mirror fogging. Interestingly, foggy mirrors aren't just a bathroom problem. They're a miniature version of natural processes that happen all around us. Morning dew on grass, fog forming over lakes, and even clouds in the sky all rely on the same basic principle: warm, moist air cooling down and releasing water through condensation. Your bathroom mirror is essentially acting like a tiny weather station, showing you how temperature and humidity interact in real time. Some mirrors are designed to resist fogging by addressing this temperature difference directly. Anti-fog mirrors often use built-in heating elements that gently warm the glass, keeping it closer in temperature to the surrounding air. When the mirror stays warm, the air touching it doesn't cool enough to reach the dew point, so condensation doesn't form. It's the same reason a warm car windshield fogs less than a cold one on a humid day. In the end, a foggy mirror after a shower is not a flaw or a failure. It's a predictable scientific response to heat, moisture, and physics doing exactly what they're supposed to do. Every time your reflection disappears behind that mist, you're witnessing water change states, air reach its limits, and temperature differences shape your environment. What feels like a small inconvenience is actually a quiet reminder that even the most ordinary moments are governed by fascinating natural laws, unfolding right in front of us, one steamy shower at a time. A foggy mirror is a simple reminder that everyday moments are shaped by invisible science, temperature changes, and water transforming before our eyes. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.